time has come. You marched down the stage, shook hands with your dean, grabbed your diploma. Finally, you graduated. You celebrate with your family, you come home, and you sleep. And as you wake up the next morning, you ask yourself, what now? I remember that day waking up full of excitement. No more school requirements, I am done with my thesis, and finally, school is over. But then after that, I thought, it's time for me to work. Or maybe I can rest for a couple of months. Where will I apply? Am I worthy to apply in my dream company? How much salary am I worth? And the overthinking never stops. Hi, my name is Arvin, and these are my advice to my 20-year-old self. The world is your oyster. You always hear this from one of your titos or titas after graduation. It sounds optimistic, but at the same time overwhelming. You can literally do anything you want. So this will be my first advice to my 20-year-old self. Step back, take a pause, and breathe. Yes, be mindful. Start asking yourselves questions. Where are you right now? What is your situation? Can you afford to rest for a while? Or do you need to start earning immediately for your family? I called on my friends DJ and Jill of Fam Manila to talk more about being mindful.
So first of all, I want to say a big congratulations to all of the fresh grads listening right now. I know it's not easy, but you did it and I'm very proud of you. So my simple advice for you is to enjoy your life and discover yourself. Discover what you like and what you dislike and get to know yourself more. Be open to change and welcome open doors, for those will be opportunities for growth and discovery as well. And don't be afraid to hide from mistakes, because we're all human and that means we're all flawed. But that's okay. That's what makes us beautiful. And be patient with yourself and continue to be brave and kind. And remember that you are not alone and there will always be someone there for you.
So, hi guys. Congratulations. Like what Jill said, it's gonna be a big change in your life. But I have 3 things that I wanted to say to you. The first thing is that the path is not always gonna be clear or linear. That's okay. You know, if it's hard, if you're overwhelmed right now, calm down, take a deep breath. Everyone's a little bit overwhelmed with big changes. What you can do is just focus on what you can control as of the moment and just take the next possible step for you. Number 2 is just surrounding yourself with like-minded individuals and making better choices. So the second one is about your choices in life. So you have to assess every day, is what I'm doing going to contribute to the life I want to live? And then the last one, of course, is just do you. Remind yourself that you are an asset and believe that you are an asset. Because if you don't believe that you're an asset to any company or anything, then they won't believe it as well. So, focus on your strengths, focus on your resources, focus on the things that make you you, and use that to your advantage.
Now that we've established how we are, it is now time to think where we are going. This one is the tricky part. You are 20 years old, you get your first salary, and you think of a lot of possibilities. From buying a house to how you can get promoted and achieving your personal goals. And then you see the price of those houses and then you think to yourself, ang mahal. Or you get to see your colleagues performing and then you think to yourselves that you are not that good. Then you call your friends and then they ask you to have a drink with them. And then you check your phone and then you see these sale items in your shopping app whispering for you to add to cart. There really are a lot of distractions along the way. And my second advice is to base your decisions on your long-term goals. How, you ask? Well, here is Sir Luigi, one of our mentors in critical thinking, to explain to you how to make better decisions.
First things first, before I turned 20, I was really fortunate that I was able to attend this workshop. I'm really thankful for that experience because she introduced me to the 7 habits of highly effective people. And one of those habits, in fact, habit 2, is something that I would really remind myself. And if there was one thing that I could pass on or share with my younger self, it would be to remember that second habit. And that habit number 2 is to begin with the end in mind. In everything that we do, whether it's about career or relationship relationships, always draw that line between my current state and my desired future state, no, to begin with the end in mind. There's this thing nowadays, diba, yung FOMO, yung fear of missing out, no? And so there's a tendency to, want to say yes to everything. There's also this thing naman, yung YOLO, you only live once. So ganun din, diba? You want to try out everything. But it's easier to say no when you know what you're saying yes to. And that yes, obviously, is the end in mind. And siguro one advice I would give to my younger self is streamline it, go to the middle, choose 3 to 5. One is a long-term goal related, one is short-term goal related, one could be what's meaningful. But basically, to come up with a shorter list of options. And then yung sa 3 to 5 options na yun, I can then subject that to what's called a decision criteria. In choosing between those 3 to 5 options, I would have certain factors to consider. So for example, what gives me meaning? What's most meaningful? But at the same time, what's most fun? Ano bang trending? Another thing to look at also would be where can I get more learning opportunities? And of course, looking at what will fulfill my needs and my family's needs at the moment. So multiple criteria, multiple options, and hopefully, by looking at those two, we can come up with a better end in mind. So yeah, that's definitely one thing that I would like to remind my younger self, to begin with the end in mind, to have focus. It's easier to say no when I know what I'm saying yes to. And at the same time, when we say focus, there's a middle ground to that focus. So I hope that was helpful, and I hope to meet that younger self in the future.
Before we proceed, I would just like to say that there is nothing wrong with shopping or hanging out with your friends. But just like what Sir Luigi has said, we have to be critical on what we say yes or no to. We always hear YOLO, but remember that we will be living once for quite some time. So YOLO responsibly. And speaking of being responsible, here is one more advice that I would like to give to you. Do your best in the work that you do, even if it is not in your job description. It sounds simple, but is something that is often overlooked. I remember back then being a psychology graduate and entered this company as a training assistant, and one of my earlier tasks is to file for a renewal of our business permit. And I also remember telling myself, and I know that you're thinking this too, that I graduated with honors. And this is what you want me to do? But imagine how crucial it is if I filed it late or with incomplete requirements. This is something that is different from school, where you either pass or you fail. Sometimes your boss gives you menial tasks not because they undermine you, but because they trust a part of their company in you. And to talk more about doing your best, here is Sir Glenn, the Executive Director of Inquirer Academy, and also my boss.
I think I have 2 things that I would tell 20-year-old Glenn, and that would be just be open to doing whatever your boss tells you to do, even if it's not in your job description. Just do it, because I think this makes you more valuable to the team if you're able to do more than just one task. If you're just doing one thing, then you're easily replaceable. But if you're doing many things, then they'll think twice. Your bosses will think twice. Number 2, I think whatever they ask you to do it well, because even if it's menial or if it's something that maybe you didn't really study for, or it's not what you signed up for, so what? I think do your best and you will be rewarded down the line. Of course, also be noticed, right? I mean, whatever it is you're doing, whether it's small thing like getting coffee or stapling stuff or arranging files, if you do it well, be sure that it's also noticed. So those are the things I think that I tell myself. Those are building blocks for your professional future. Good luck.
And finally, my last advice for you is to not be afraid to ask. The people you saw in this video are people I find reliable, and even consider them my mentors. Like we said earlier in the video, life can be overwhelming, but with the help of the right people, I'm sure you'll get along with it just fine. And if you have your own life advice for your 20-year-old self, you would like to see it in the comment section down below. And if you like this video, make sure to subscribe to our channel. And if you'd like to learn more, you may visit our website at inquireracademy.com and check our online courses that may help you with your growth, personally and professionally. That's it for me. Thank you and goodbye. Boom!